parcel delivered. Let's zoom out a little bit. It's a large parcel. And let's see what's inside. It's quite light. It says 981 grams. So it should be a Lima train set. It comes in one of these plastic boxes. I'm not a big fan of these plastic boxes because they can't be recycled. Anyhow, they work and are very light. And inside there's a lot of unassembled loose stuff. So that's not great packing. And here's the battery holder. It's very simple battery holder. You just put a lot of batteries in, and yeah. So clearly the batteries have been leaking, and this is why all of this has been eroded. I'm certainly not gonna use this battery pack. Looks quite cool here. Tells me it goes up to 9 volts. So you could keep traveling with your battery pack. Good. So this I have no use for this. The reason why I bought this pack here is not the Lima tracks either, because they kind of don't have a very good reputation. I actually just bought it solely for this locomotive, where the pantograph has now significantly suffered during the transport, so this will have to be addressed. Perfect, looks nice now. All buffers are still present in this locomotive, which is not very often the case. So then we've got the full train set, the matching train set of coaches is first class. I don't know what this is, half first, half second. Yeah, looks like half first, half second. Brilliant. And I've got these 2 coaches, and then probably just the rest for a full circle. Yeah. So in addition, we've got here these switches. Sorry. Blocked nose this morning, and these are Pico switches, and I identified these as such on eBay. So these are this is good quality, and we actually have 2 pairs of these. For some reason the spring here is missing, so this one is not working properly, and so this one's a spare or repair. It's a bit of a shame, as this one here is working just fine. So we've got 3 switches. This here, probably just have to put a new I probably can fix this one. You know, it's quite rotten when you see, not rotten, sorry, it's all rusty here. So I'm not sure whether this can be easily repaired. We'll have to see whether this is possible. And then a circle with a pickup truck, so a track, that's probably all fine. And this one clearly has suffered a bit. Let's see where we can move it back into position. Didn't really like the transport, I assume, too much. Yeah, that looks better now. anyhow, so a few tracks, a few switches, and but let's see what is the locomotive doing, and so you can. I just use my test track here because it's just handier for me to use this test track. I found this on eBay. This rocket controller for 10 quid, I think, or even less, and it's quite reliable controller. And well, let's just see whether it's also working or not. As I said, it was sold as untested. That's always a bit dubious when someone sells something as untested. But well, why don't we test it? So electricity is on the track. So we can tell this locomotive has received new traction tires. And these are not the original ones. So maybe someone has been fiddling around with this locomotive. It's always interesting what happens next. So untested in this situation means it's not working. It's not working, and it doesn't sound right. Oh, so what's the next step? Let's see whether you can put the pantograph back down again. Let's just open. So actually, the paint is still on it. So maybe nobody's ever opened this locomotive. The screw has still the original blue on it. Let's see what's inside. You can tell there's still the original blue paint on the screw. Right, so why is this one not working? Well, okay, the metal block falls out. That was expected. There's a bit of dirt here. So, but well, the pickup is in this version of this locomotive on one side of on the non-motorized bogie, and on the other hand, pickup must be on these wheels here. So this is interesting. No, this is must be a later version of these. And so we have to find out whether there are any pickups anywhere or not. And I think I'll switch now to another DC supply where I can apply direct electricity to the wheels if I want to. Right, put this here. So I've got here now my DC supply here, and I will go see what happens if I So this, oops, this was, I just shorted the machine, yeah, you can tell, energy is running. So what happens if I put it straight onto the motor block? Basically it's not working. But then it's the Lima, so maybe I should go up to a little bit higher voltage. Also at the higher voltage, nothing is working. So the next step is to remove the locomotive, the motor from the I take the motor out now. So, and let's see, the brushes are in place. It's a bit blocked, the motor. So for some reason the motor is not rotating at all. It's never a very good sign when you find us in this situation. This is likely that the motor has burned out. It's been somehow overheated at some point. So let's see. What do we see when you open the motor up? Well, the brush doesn't look very bad actually. It just doesn't look very bad at all, apart from I can barely take the motor out. So let's see whether the connections are still all present here. So the wires are still all connected. It doesn't look too heavily used in fact. So I don't really know why this is not working. I have to say this doesn't roll very well. It's interesting. I wouldn't do this when the motor is in, because you can just break your motor. It seems that the cogwheels are, the gears here have a little bit of an issue. Let's take these out. They're just too dirty, who knows? Bit of dirt here. Still looks good enough. So the magnet's very strong still. This is in. So one brush is still in the motor, that's okay. Just try to like this. Here we go. That should be fine. Also very long brushes still. They're still okay as well. See, where's the little, this probably can go in here. That's the wrong side. Hopefully the motor should be working. It's just that the gears are a bit stiff. Or blocking it probably. Right. The next thing, we need to put these back on. That's a pickup here on one side, and this will be the pickup on the other side. Blimey. Sorry. Just this continuous cold, which I've been suffering from now. I've had several coronavirus tests, and they were all negative, but yeah, clearly there's still the viruses around there. So the virologists shouldn't go and retire. I mean, what have they done in the past 100 years, really, in terms of flu and coronavirus? And what have they really, what's the achievement in coronavirus? So they figured out that vaccines work, that you have put the patient upside down, and that steroids are helpful anyhow. So let's see what happens next. Now that I've taken it out of the box, where are the wires? Here are the wires. Let's see. There's a little bit of movement. I think the problem for this engine are really just the gears and nothing else. I think it's just the gears are blocking. Go a little bit higher up, see what happens. This is a bit frustrating, but I'm sure we will get there. Yeah, it's too difficult to turn. It uses too much energy to turn these. The motor can't be strong enough to turn this with so much force. I mean, I can tell here turning at this wheel here, it's just not possible. I think if I apply the energy now, it probably will work a little bit, but just not. Ooh, sorry. It's just not. So I have to clean this motor properly. Well, I think with this I will just wrap it all up again, mark it as spare or repair for myself, and when I have a little bit more time I will address this boogie. Here. And I mean, if someone says untested on eBay and the person is selling loads of other train parts, you can assume he didn't manage to make it running. So I think this is my experience so far, that when you buy something untested, it doesn't run. Something is faulty with it. I don't know whether you've experienced this as well, but overall still a really nice purchase. Because the locomotive is in a great state, it's just a little scratch here, all the buffers are present. So I was still happy with it. It's a nice train composition. And it certainly has here something. This here. Because it's toxic and poisonous. Well, so thank you for watching, and I hope you... thanks for sharing this pre-breakfast train assessment with me.